Hi guys, and welcome to this Model Engineers Workshop. Today in the workshop, we're going to get the valve spindle guides and glands done. Come on, I'll see you at the bench. Hi guys, I'm the chef. Today, as I just said, we're going to get the valve spindle guides and the glands done. So we need a bit of brass, the right thread, and some time on the lathe. Come on, I'll talk you through it. Okay guys, so what are we actually making today? Well, you can see here, this is the front of the left cylinder block, this is the back of the right cylinder block. So we need to make the piece of brass that goes into here, which is the valve spindle tail guide. That has a reamed hole up the middle and a little bit of fancy shaping, but nothing that you can't do with a file. This one, for the rear of both cylinders, is just literally a bush that screws in, holds the packing in place to make a steam tight seal, and again it has a reamed hole through the middle of it. So 4 bits, 2 bits a bit slightly bigger than the other two, obvious, a bit obvious really, 2 large, 2 small, but they both entail the same thread on one end. Here's the die, and you see there, let's have a look, what's it say on there? Half inch by 26 TPI. This is BSB, British Standard Brass, so that matches the threads in there, of course. And this is a piece of 14.4 hex brass that we're going to get into the lathe, get some machining done, machine some threads, and it's all going to be sweet and easy, isn't it? Right. We might just need to make a threaded bush just to hold these things in for finishing off in the lathe, but that's straightforward, easy stuff. So I'll get this in the lathe and we'll get going. See you over at the lathe, guys. See you in a bit. Righto, guys. So there we are, set up in the lathe. Materials in the chuck. Just gonna, as much as that looks like it's been turned before, I'm just gonna take a facing cut, and then we've got to take off the hex for a depth of 14 till we hit 12mm diameter. Actually, yeah, 12mm, because we're doing a 1/2 inch thread, so it's just slightly under 0.7. It's a BSB, British Standard Brass thread, so we need to get down to 12mm, 12.1mm, somewhere in between those two. So we're going to face off, and then we'll start turning away the hex. All right, so make sure everything looks good. Yep, that looks all right. So here goes. So that's just cleaned up. Set the dials. Let's touch off. There we go. Come back. Put on. Just set the dials again. Yep. So let's put on a cut rather. And we need to go 14mm, which is 4 turns and 65 graduations on the compound. So here goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 65 graduations. Right. Right, I'll just grab the verniers. Let's have a measure. We need to be at 12 or 12.1. There we go. Let's have a look. We are at 14.2. So we've got a thorough chunk to go. Here goes. We'll sneak up on this. Can't be far off now. We are at 12.5. 12.55. 12.55. So we need to take 4 off. So let's have a think. Right, so we need to go off about that much. Just looking at the dials, guys. Sorry. Here goes. This might be the last cut. Here goes. Alrighty, let's have a quick look. 12.2, right, just need a little bit more of that. 1.4, let's just go to there. This is basically going to take off some dust. All right, let's have a look at that. That should be about it. $12.1. That's what we needed. Righto, guys. I'm going to get a chamfer on here, set up for putting the thread on it, and I'll bring you back at that. See you in a bit, guys. Righto, guys. So, change the tool. Let's just get a nice chamfer on there to make it easy to start the die when we're ready. So let's just get into place. Right. Oh, good. Right, let's just get a good chamfer on here. Here goes. That should see that. Look, that looks nice. Just raised a little bit of a burr, so I'll just take a file to that. So, of course, using a file, always a file with a handle. Just using a nice fine file. Just give it a bit more room. Let's just tidy that burr up. There we go. Right, find everything out of the way, and let's get a thread on this. Okay, let's wind that up. Now you won't be able to see too much, guys, but you know what I'm doing, so I'm gonna engage. Right, let's get this A little tighter, there we go. And we're cutting by the look of things. Yeah, we're cutting. I can see chips coming out of there now. Wind that back, break a few chips off. Yeah, we're cutting. We're definitely cutting. So let's go for it a bit now. There we go. I'm going to go all the way to the end of the bit we've turned with a nice long thread onto here. There we go. Almost there, guys. As I said, for this kind of operation, there's not much you can see, to be honest. Almost there. Yep, that's it. Right, let's wind back and see what kind of thread we've got. Hopefully, a nice, pretty looking one. And from what I can see at the moment, I think we've got a good thread on there. There we go. Even you can see that. That's a good looking thread. Right, so next operation. Let's take that one. Now I'm going to use a parting tool. We're going to need this in a second anyway, so we might as well reuse it. Wind that back a bit more, get a bit more stability. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to line ourselves up. Just get a little bit of a touch off against that surface, because of course we've got the right dimension there. And we're just going to tidy up the back end of that thread. All right, so let's just put in a little thread relief at the back of that. Here goes. That's all that needs to be. Right, now I need to drill and ream a hole. So let me reset the tail stock. Right, I can leave the parting tool in here for now. Just need to wind it out the way. And I'll get back to you in a tick. Hang on. Right, so order operations now. We're going to, let's move that up a bit more. Clear that. There we are. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to put a center in, nice little center. Then going to drill about 30 deep with a 4.2. Then we're going to follow that with a 5.5. And then we're going to ream that hole out and with a 6mm reamer. And then we're just going to form a cup on the bottom end here to hold the packings more centralized with a 10.5mm drill. Just form a little bit of a cup rather than being a flat end. All right, here goes. Now, of course, for reaming, you drop the speed right down. Let's have a look. What's the slowest I can do around here? A B1. So that's going to give me 65 RPM a minute. Let's just check that. Nope. There we go. We're in gear now. Yep. So let's just get this reamer into the chuck. And we just go full depth on it. There we are. Just going to take my time. In and out. And we'll just ream this all the way to the bottom. Here goes. Just going to use a brush, clear the flutes of the reamer every now and then. Not going to be too far off now. Yep, there we go. We've hit bottom. Super. Right. Let's take that reamer out of there. Go over to the 10.5. Just reset the chuck in the tailstock. And as I said, we just got to form a cup on the bottom end of this. It doesn't need to be a sharp edge or anything like that. Just enough to tighten that down. Put the speed back up. Let's go to C3. C3, that should be it. That looks good to me. Right. So we're just going to go until, I don't know, can you see where that chamfer just ends? So we don't really want a sharp edge. We just want to leave a little flat. Let's see if we can get it. Shouldn't be too hard, but you never know. I might get it wrong. A little bit more. I'm just going to slow that down a bit. That seems a little bit too fast. That's it. Go down to about 330 RPM. We're not far off. Yep, that'll do us. Right. This piece is almost finished, so all we have to do now is just wind that back as well. Tailstock out the way. Now, of course, I brought the parting tool in to put that thread relief in. So now, wind that back just to give me a bit more clearance. We know the total length of this thing is to be 20.5, so we're going to go to about 20.7 so I can actually face this off. Once we flip it around, it's going to make a touch off on there. Set me dials. What did I say? 20.7. 27 and 1.7 is 35. 45. 46. 7 and 146. There's only 127. So we need 8 and 20 on the dial. Okay, so hang on, wait a minute. I've got it. Just let me recalculate that, guys. I'll be back in a tick. Hang on. Right, here I am again. Good job I checked that because I'd forgotten to take into account the thickness of this parting tool. So I need 23.2, which is going to be 9 hole turns and 17. So, right, let's move this down a bit. Clear. 9 and 17. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 17 divisions. That gives me a little bit of clean off. That seems a long piece of stuff, doesn't it? Let's just try that again, shall we? Let's have a look. I need 20.5. Yeah, it's about right, actually. Okay, right. Let's get this parted off. Got a little piece of paper here to act as a catcher. Let's wind the speed up a bit more. Let's go to that one again, A3, yep, 700. And let's just see, what are we on for the feed? We need to be on a B5, B5, yeah, nice slow feed. Right, and hopefully we've gone deep enough. I think we did. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, we should have done. Right, okay, let's get this parted off. There we go. Yes, and we did. Can you see? Yes, there you can. We did go deep enough. Super. Right. Let me just run the reamer through there by hand. There's bound to be a little bit of a burr on the inside of that. Can we see? Yes, we can. Oh, there's definitely. Oh, there it goes. Nice and clear. Easy. Right. Right. There we go. Looks nice. Where are we? There we are. Okay. Nice thread on there. Right. I'll get the second one done and I'll bring you back at that. All right, guys. See you in a bit. Righto, guys. There we go. So 2 bits done. Threaded up all nicely. And I got the cut in the bottom there for the packings to squeeze the packings. Now, here's a silly question for you. Are any of you sharp-eyed enough to spot the mistake? Right. The mistake was, this is the one I did first. Spot the difference? So, so I actually made, well, 2.5. This one's nowhere near finished, of course. Similar sort of stage, 2 9/8 maybe. What this mistake has actually allowed me to do is just to check things. It's actually been a very happy accident indeed, because if I put this one in here, you watch up. Sorry guys, that was me banging the camera. If I put that one in here and this one in the back, which is basically there. This one is a very different shape by the time we finish off the next two. There we go. This is the same material as the piston rod, the valve rod we're going to be using. If I put that through there and then line that up, and it should, he says, hopefully pop through. There we go. You can see it coming out the back here. So if I just nip one of these up very gently, it doesn't need, I don't want to be putting any marks on this. We can have our first real kind of play. Look at that. That's how the valve actually will work in there. It's below that level, or it will be when I tighten that screw down. And I've still got to file out these corners, of course, to get the valve travel to be its maximum. But that's a milestone, if ever there was. We have everything lining up. And in this one, because I've done the same on this one, I've had a play with it. Put that one in there just for safekeeping for the moment. Got to take it out again shortly. It does the same. I'm really, really happy. Look at that. We have life of some sort, anyway, in the cylinders. Absolutely wonderful. Right, so back to the lathe. We've now got to produce 2 for the back here. Very similar on the threads, but I'm going to be parting off a lot longer than this. Let me take that one out. So we end up with, these have 14 mil from the end to the underneath the head on them. This one didn't. This one only had something like 12. I must have miscounted somewhere. So you can imagine that this is 15. We then have about another 20, 25, I think, and then we need to start shaping on the end. And the hole at the middle is, the drawing says we've got to turn down that piece of material to 4 mil and ream this 4 mil. I'm going to ream it 6. Plain and simple. There's no reason that I can think of, seeing as these all both line up, that it needs to be 4. Why do I need to turn down from 6 to 4 just so it fits the hole, a smaller hole? I'm going to make them M6. I'm going to ream them out 6, same as before, so I don't even need to change the drills. I can just keep doing the same thing. I don't need to put the little cup in the end because there's no packing, because it's just going to be sealed in there. It's going to have a bit of Loctite sealant or whatever on there, hydraulic sealant. And of course the hole doesn't go all the way through, and it goes so far. Right, so back on the lathe, make 2 more of these with a longer body on them. I'll call them slightly longer thread, 15 instead of 14. And when I get those made, I'll make a little split, a little threaded bushing to go in the lathe. So of course we are going to put these in the lathe, get the heads to the right length, clean them up, put a nice looking chamfer on the outside, and then with the 2 back ones, we're going to start shaping up for the actual length that is required. Right, let me get 2 more similar to these, but with a longer body made, and the threaded bush that's going to stay in the lathe so we can machine these down, and I'll be back. Give us a couple of minutes, guys. Doesn't take long. Righto, guys. Well, that didn't take long. So here's the first 2 with the holes all the way through. Yeah, you can see it now. These are the next 2. These, of course, screw into the back. Yeah, I can get that to go in without cross-threading. There we go. And this one goes in here. Out the back. You can't see that, never mind. So, whoops, where'd that go? There it is. Right, so these 2 we've got to put a, you can see I've just made a little mark on them with the parting tool. So we've got to, where's the mark? There it is. Got to turn this down just to 10 mil and then just round the end off slightly just to make it look pretty on both of those. And these 2, all we have to do is face them off now and just put a little bit of a chamfer on there, like so it looks like a proper nut. Now I've already made a threaded bush for these. That's still in the lathe chuck. Of course, I'm not going to take that out till these are finished. So over to the lathe. Let's get these finished. Righto, guys. There we are. First one screwed into the little threaded bush. That I've got in the already made in the 3-jaw. I'm just going to put on the cut. I've already touched off. So we're just going to do a facing cut. Then we're going to change the tool and just put a nice little chamfer on both of these ones. So let's just make it all nice and free. Here goes. Nice and quick and easy. Let's just change the tool out. Yep, one good for chamfering in the tool post. Just need to move the tool post around a little bit to get it to about a 30-degree cut. Nothing too accurate on this one. Move that in there. Hang on. Let's move the whole carriage forward. There we go. We're just going to chamfer those corners off just so that it actually looks like it's a nut. Here goes. Yep, that'll do us. There we go. Simple as that. So I'll bring this one up to the same stage. Change over to the ones that go out the front of the cylinders. These are the rear, of course. And I'll bring you back when I get that far. See you in a bit, guys. Righto, guys. Here we go. This is going to be the operation for the front cylinder cover is the one that's actually support the tail end of the valve rod. As you can see, I've got a little button tool. This is a 6mm button tool, so it gives a nice radius in the bottom. We're going to turn down, let me find my little marker again, there it is. Can you actually see that? I think so, just at the thumbnail there. I can go as far as that to give the right thickness as required by the drawing. And we'll then have a radius, and we're going to turn what's left of this down to 10mm, and then we're going to put a 5mm radius on the end to make it look pretty. So let's give this a go and see what happens. All right, here goes. There's touch off. Getting down towards my marker now. Just fall short. Put on another little light cut, intermittent cuts of course. I'm not measuring anything until I get the corners of the hexagon off, and then we'll see where we need to get to. We've almost got the corners of the hexagon off. You can hear the difference. Ooh. There we go, guys. Did you see that? That unscrewed. Look at that. Let me just try and tighten that up, and I'll get this down to 10. You could see what I was doing. I'll get this down to 10 using this button tool, and I'll bring you back at that, guys. All right, see you in a bit. Righto, guys, so there we go. The button tool did a nice job. Nice little radius in the bottom here. Now, of course, I could really use a ball turning attachment for this, but I don't have one. But what I do have is a set of radius gauges. This one says 5 on it. Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to file that till we get a nice looking radius on the end of here. Lathe running, so of course, starting with a coarse file with a handle on it, can't say that enough. And again, just holding the end there, holding the handle here, and we're just going to start shaping this off till we get it right, and stopping and checking as we go. All right, here goes. All right, first check. As you can see, it's going fairly quickly. I'll change to a fine file as we get closer. Oh, we've still got plenty to go. Right, look, I'll bring you back. See you in a bit. Right, there we go. Matter of a couple of minutes file work, and we're close enough. Only just to make it look a little bit pretty. I think you can see that as well. Right, I'll get this one out, get the other one up to the same stage, and I'll meet you back at the bench. All right, guys, see you in a couple of minutes. Righto, guys, there we go. Just for a change, smaller jobs. So as you can see, we've now got 2 for what is the front direction of the locomotive, 2 at the rear. So these have a cup in the back for the little packing gland that's going to go in there. It's going to be PTFE tape. And these 2, of course, don't need it because, can you see? I'll tip that up a bit. As you can see here, this is only supporting the non-powered end of what will be the valve rod, just to give it some support under the steam pressure, I suppose. Still got to file out these corners, which I suppose I'm going to do next, just to make sure that those are finished. That one's even got the scratch marks on it still, so you can just see them there. Right, so let's get this video closed off. Nice one. Nice, not too long today. All right, guys, give us a second. Righto, guys. So that brings this video to a close for today. 4 little bits of brass, nice little turning jobs, easy peasy really, didn't take too long. Right, so we're progressing nicely. So that basically, I've just got to file out the corners, but that basically brings the steam chests themselves to a finish. We've still got cylinders to do, snifting valves, and a few more bits and pieces, but we're getting really, really close now. Okay then, guys. So I'll finish off like I always do. If you can find it in your heart and soul, give me a like and a subscribe. It's the likes that really count. It puts this video in front of other like-minded people like you and I. And the subscriptions, well, they're good for my soul, if not for your own, because I put a lot of time and effort into these videos. And just to know that there are people out there that are interested is the motivation that I need to get back out here. All right, guys, this is this video coming to a close. So I'll say, see you later.